Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here. Before I get started, I want to remind you of the 2 free silver bars I'm giving away in the month of May. Subscribers leaving the comments, names will go in a hat. Name will be drawn hopefully on a live stream on June 1st. Today I want to talk a little bit about Iran. I want to talk a little bit about Palestine. I want to talk a little bit about the 2 congresswomen we have in our Congress who happen to be Muslim terrorists as well as anti-Semites. But today I want to start it off talking about Iran and President Trump. President Trump has been attacked by an advisor to Iran's president, Hassan Rouhani, saying today that Trump will get a war for listening to the man called the Mustache. You know, they're talking about John Bolton, people. The national security advisor to the President of the United States. He does have a big mustache, but still, I love John Bolton. Ashina tweeted this after military experts suggested that Iran or its proxies damaged 4 commercial ships off the coast of the United Arab Emirates on Sunday. And then he continued and he says, and he's talking to President Trump here, directly to President Trump. Looks like you're going to get, he said, you wanted a better deal with Iran. Looks like you're going to get a war instead. That's what happens when you listen to the mustache. Good luck in 2020. And then with an interview with the Iran ambassador to the United Kingdom, he was talking to Sky News and he said this to Trump. He said, don't test us. Iran is fully ready for any conflict in the region. Well, the Trump administration officials say that they detected signs that Iranian or Iranian-backed proxies were preparing to attack Americans in the Middle East. That's why they exploited the deployment of the USS Abraham Lincoln to the Middle East, as well as other strike forces and bomber squadrons. So I think Trump and Bulldog John Bolton's got Iran pretty well covered right now. But I want to talk a little bit about the Palestinian Islamic Jihad that fired over 700 rockets into Israel over a 2-day period. Well, these 2 fresh Muslim congresswomen that I was talking about a minute ago, Rashida Tlaib from Michigan and Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Demon Rat from Minnesota, they both made public statements condemning Israel. Of course, that's nothing new. They've been in the news for the last few weeks condemning Israel with their anti-Semitic remarks. But Tlaib was born in Detroit to immigrants from Israel. Get that, from Israel. But she slammed the New York Times for focusing on the 700 rockets instead of the oppression and the targeting of Palestinian children by Israel's rockets. But remember, in fact, there were 700 rockets intentionally targeted urban areas, cities, and the citizens of Israel by Palestine. I don't care what anybody says. I agree with Trump and Vice President Pence that Israel has a right to defend themselves. If somebody lobbed 700 rockets at your house, you'd do something about it or you'd just go under. And Israel's not going under, people. Especially not to the Palestinian rockets. Omar, on the other hand, was born in Somalia and she was raised in the U.S. and is totally unfamiliar with the politics and the going on in the regions of Palestine and Israel. She's a total idiot. She has no idea what's going on. People, she's from Somalia. In 2005, Israel evacuated 10,000 Jews from Gaza, thus effectively cleansing Gaza of all the Jews, so that all that were left were Palestinians. And just last week, Hamas forcibly quelled riots of the Palestinian people who were protesting the use of humanitarian aid for their terrorist agenda. These people in Palestine have a government and people like Hamas that are controlling everything, and they're nothing but terrorists, just like Rashida and Omar. But I'm going to tell you, how could they take the money meant for humanitarian aid, for food and blankets and whatever else these people might need? Hamas and the elite took their money, didn't give them a thing, and spent it all on their terrorist activities. I'd be upset too, people. These people are living hand to mouth, and they're taking humanitarian money for terrorist activities. That tells you the kind of people they are. Even if they weren't terrorists, if they did that, they would be just as bad. It's unclear how Omar's support of the constant rocket attacks is intended to alleviate humanitarian crisis in Gaza. I mean, she's running her mouth, but she's doing nothing. So what good is it doing those people in Gaza that she is claiming that need all of this help? Well, the help that was sent to them was just converted into terrorist funds. So that's what you're talking about? I guess so, Omar. The opinion of these two congresswomen, who in my opinion are natural-born terrorists, does not reflect the opinion of the United States, and certainly not of the President or the White House. President Trump said, "We support Israel 100% in defense of its citizens." And his Vice President, Mike Pence, said Israel has the absolute right to defend itself, and the U.S. stands by our great ally, Israel. Well, just yesterday, Rashida Tlaib, the Democrat from Michigan, she criticized the arrest of protesters on Capitol Hill who called for the impeachment of President Trump. 8 people were arrested by Capitol Police and charged with crowding and obstructing. Tlaib has been one of the loudest voices on the liberal side pushing for Trump's impeachment. The Muslim terrorist Tlaib called for the arrest of these people ridiculous and said that they have every right to demand accountability from this lawless president that we have in the White House. She said, "This is how we take back our democracy." Well, I have to tell you something, Rashida Tlaib. We're not a democracy. That's where you people are so stupid. We're a republic. We are not a democracy. We are a republic. And that's where you start getting crazy. See? You think you live in a democracy. Well, you don't. The United States is the republic. She says when the people lead, Congress and those in power will follow. No, that's not how it works. How it works is that those in power do good things for the people, and those people appreciate it and they follow. You have your complete mind totally turned upside down. You should not be in our Congress. Tlaib has long supported impeachment of President Trump, including on her very first day in office when she rallied a crowd of socialist demon rats when she said, "We're going to impeach the MF." That was on her very first day in office, people. Of course, she was sworn in on the Quran, just like Omar. But people, I'll tell you, it's time that we stood up to these Muslim extremists in our country and the Muslim extremists across America and the world. I say to President Trump, do whatever you have to do in Iran. And I say to Israel, do whatever you have to do in Palestine. I say, people, let's stand for our President Donald Trump. Let's get these Muslims out of office. We can vote them out. I think Omar's on her way out anyway. I don't think she'll make it through the 2020 re-election. I hope the same is true for Rashida and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Let's get these teeny boppers out of there. People, I went too long. My 10-minute mark is coming up quick. Appreciate you watching. Remember our children. Pray for our children. Pray for each other. My name's Deplorable Bobby. This is the way I see it.